Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Duver, and I have the privilege to serve as the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science at Ryerson University, and I'd like to welcome everyone to today's event. I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Toronto is in the dish with one spoon territory. The dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We have come together virtually to mark a very special milestone. The Center for Urban Energy at Ryerson University, which I am proud to say is part of the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, is 10 years old. The center was announced in September 2010 by Ryerson with three founding sponsors, Hydro One, the IESO, and Toronto Hydro. CUE has achieved many of the things that these founding partners set out to achieve. It has established itself as a significant player in Ontario and Canada's research and development landscape. Its projects have impacted the electricity grid for the better, helping to reduce emissions and combat climate change, while aiming to make energy more reliable, affordable, and accessible. And it has benefited Ryerson students, preparing and training them for the highly skilled energy jobs of today and tomorrow. Many other partners, including Tata Power, Schneider Electric, and NSERC, have joined us over the years. Thank you to all of our sponsors for trusting in our research and investing in our students and our future. It has taken a collective effort to get to this point. June is National Electricity Month, so it is a good time recognizing the vital importance of electricity to the lives and livelihoods of all Canadians. Our Clean Energy Expo is an opportunity to bring together CUE supporters, sponsors, faculty, staff, students, and alumni to celebrate a decade of progress and look ahead at the exciting things to come. Today's event has 4 sessions. Shortly, we will welcome our keynote speaker. That session will be followed at 10:05 Eastern Time by a research showcase where CUE fellows will discuss some of our key partnerships and successful research outcomes. At 11:05, you will have the chance to hear firsthand from some of the student entrepreneurs who are part of the Clean Energy Zone, Ryerson's incubator focused on green energy solutions that is based in CUE. At 12, you will have the chance to meet with some of the Clean Energy Zone companies at our virtual expo. And if you need any help navigating any of these sessions, please check in at our virtual help desk, which can be found via the Sessions tab on the left of your screen. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Ryerson University President and Vice Chancellor Mohamed Lashmi.
Thank you very much, Dean Duver. Today's celebration brings back many wonderful memories for me. I was Dean of the faculty when we began to think about how Ryerson could make important contribution and impact on clean and affordable energy for cities. We needed a place for our researchers and faculty from across the university and our partners to collaborate and innovate. That was the start of the Center for Urban Energy, and can tell you that hiring Bala Venkatesh to lead it was one of my best decisions as Dean. Under Bala's leadership, the center has shown the way in developing strong partnership that led to solutions for today's challenges. The story of the center's success can be told in numbers. 1,000, that's the number of highly skilled alumni who have come through the center's programs. 44 the startups that have been hosted in the clean energy zone. And over 30 million, that's the dollar value of the research that has taken place here in the center. So my deepest gratitude to our founding partners, Hydro One, the IESO, and Toronto Hydro, who continue to support the center. And thanks to our strategic partners who have joined us, Schneider Electric, ENSERC, and Tata Power. We are also honored to welcome today the CEO of Tata Power, Praveer Sinha, to speak today. It's our university's mission to find solutions towards biggest challenges. The center is helping us fulfill that mission to meet Canada's pledge on fighting climate change. The past 10 years have built a strong foundation. In the years ahead, the center will be here to serve Canada and the energy sector, helping cities thrive, benefiting all Canadians, and making an impact. Congratulations on this wonderful anniversary, and thank you for celebrating with us. And I'm now pleased to welcome back our Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture Science, Tom Duval. Over to you.
Thank you very much, President Lashemi, for being here today and for your steadfast support of the Center and its work since its inception. It's now my pleasure to introduce Stephen Liss, who is the Vice President of Research and Innovation at Ryerson University. And I would like to ask him to say a few words before introducing today's very special guest speaker. Stephen, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Duver, and happy 10th anniversary to the Center for Urban Energy. CUE builds on a remarkable legacy and foundation of excellence in power electronics, and it's been exciting for me as Vice President of Research and Innovation just to see in the past several years a tremendous trajectory and further growth and impact that CUE has had and will continue to have into the future. On behalf of Ryerson University, it is my distinct honor today to introduce our keynote speaker, Praveer Sinha. Ryerson is fortunate to have great industry and government partners, allowing our world-class researchers to continue to innovate the energy sector both here in Canada and the global stage. By partnering with leaders in the field, we've been able to leverage our strength as city builders, and these partnerships allow us to solve real-world energy challenges that will not only impact the lives of people across the globe today, but for generations to come. To date, through the Center of Urban Energy, we have partnered on more than 75 projects with collaborators around the world. Not only does this provide our faculty with exceptional affiliates, but is a significant step to training the next generation of forward-thinking researchers. I have been a big fan and think the future is very much hinged on brain circulation and opportunities through collaboration and partnerships. Our unique multidisciplinary approach that combines our institutional expertise in engineering, environmental science, and urban infrastructure together with the knowledge of our partners has been key to our success. The power of digital technology and data will further impact these areas. These projects have resulted in solutions for challenges in smart grid technology, energy storage, electric vehicles, carbon footprint reduction, and more. The partnership with Tata Power is an example of this. Ryerson's relationship with India's largest power generation company was established in 2017, and we've worked on 6 real-world projects to date. The relationship continues to expand into new areas of research, covering distribution models, loss reduction, renewables, and electric vehicles. CUE researchers also develop a clean electricity roadmap for Delhi, the world's second largest city by population. The outcomes will both inform future planning and development of the power grid, with the goal to deliver clean, safe, affordable, and reliable electricity to Tata Power customers in India. It also provides Canadian partners and researchers with international opportunities. We are as passionate as our collaborators about finding solutions to power our cities for the future, and we look forward to teaming up with partners like Tata Power on more game-changing projects that will produce significant advances for the energy in years to come. Now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Praveer Sinha, the CEO and Managing Director of Tata Power Company. India's largest integrated power company with an annual revenue of over $5.5 billion, where he's responsible for developing and setting up power plants in India and around the world. With more than 35 years of experience in power generation and distribution, Praveer is a recognized leader in the power sector. Praveer Sinha has consistently been at the forefront of public advocacy in power distribution and renewable energy. He has a master's in business law from National Law University, Bangalore, and a PhD in electrical engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi. He's a visiting scholar at Massachusetts Institute of Technology and a visiting professor, I'm proud to say, here at Ryerson in the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science. He's implemented numerous sustainability programs focusing on empowerment for women and skills for youth, supporting inclusive growth of society. His work and contributions have been recognized by numerous prestigious organizations in India. And today, we are delighted that he will share his perspective on the opportunities facing our collective energy future as we rise to the challenge of climate change and building back better from the COVID-19 pandemic. Praveer, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for partnering with Ryerson, and we certainly look forward to hearing what you have to say today. So thank you so much. Please join me in welcoming Praveer Sinha.
Thank you, Stephen, for your kind words. Good morning to all, and my special compliments to the Center for Urban Energy for the 10th anniversary. President and Vice Chancellor, Mohammed Lachami, Dean Tom Duver, Vice President Stephen Liss, faculty and students of Ryerson University, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you are safe and taking care of yourself. It is such a pleasure to join today morning for this important event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Center for Urban Engineering, which has been doing pioneering work in last 1 decade in the energy sector. And it has been my fortune, good fortune, that I have participated in some of the programs and initiatives of the center. In normal circumstances, I would have been there physically to attend this program and celebrate this great day, and also enjoy the networking and fellowship. I do hope next year we get the opportunity to be physically present and meet up with everyone. We live in very difficult times. These are times which no one anticipated. At least last 1.5 years back, no one thought that the world will come to a standstill and everything will be done virtually. Fortunately, I think the worst is behind us. And this actually demonstrates how people have collaborated, doctors, scientists, researchers, to come up with a vaccine in such a short period of time. And I'm sure we will overcome all this sooner than later. The human spirit is of trying and believing that we can make a difference. And I think the topic that I would like to today talk about is about the human spirit, the transformation and the transitioning of the power sector. How the world is changed in last more than 100 years, when for the first time Thomas Alva Edison found electricity. Today, the electricity sector or the power sector is going through a huge transformation. No one ever thought that we will have the type of energy solutions that we are today looking at. And the biggest disruptions that are coming in is giving us an opportunity to collaborate and do things which are very, very different than what it was originally in this time. Large generating stations, large transmission systems, and large distribution systems are a thing of the past, and the future will be very, very different. When we look at the disruption in the power sector, there are 3 pillars that we are looking at. The first is the decarbonization. Today, decarbonization is a reality. It is not something which was a fad a few years back. Today, every country, every company which is in the power sector has to go through a decarbonization process. And why is it that the decarbonization today is a reality? The cost has come down, the technology has improved, and we expect that going forward, it will be able to give firm power, which today it is not able to do. the infirm power, whether it is solar or wind, will become a firm power. And we have seen many of the countries have been able to do that, but for very few days. And that is an opportunity for us, that how do we create this infirm power from power. So the decarbonization movement which has started, it has a huge impact, not only on the climate change initiatives, but also in terms of how do we produce and supply electricity. It's not only electricity for industries and commercial establishments and residential, but it is also creating a whole difference in the way the electric mobility will come in. The mobility will give the opportunity that the pollution which is there, and especially there are a large number of cities, especially in India, where we have nearly 15 of the most polluted cities out of the top 20. How do we come out of that? How are we able to sort out this problem and come with a solution which will be able to give us not only clean transportation solutions, but also give us an opportunity to provide virtual power plants. And I think those are the areas of research that can be done with universities and institutions like RISE. The second area that is happening, and the second big disruption that is happening, is in the area of decentralization. And when we talk of decentralization, it means that we are talking about the customer. It is the consumer who is getting empowered. And to that extent, I think the opportunity that is being provided by decentralizing is giving the opportunity to the consumer that they can generate electricity and use it, and also sell it in the peer group. And I think that's the biggest disruption that is happening in the power sector, that the decentralized electricity, whether it is in cities or in the rural areas, will give an opportunity to the people in those locations to move away from these large generating stations, which transmit powers in thousands of miles and thousands of kilometers, to be more load-centric and thereby create an opportunity or a paradigm shift in the way the electricity can be produced and consumed. The third big change that we have seen is in the digitalization technology that is happening. And when we look at the digitalization technology, it's about enabling provision or enabling technology and a catalyst in how the decarbonization and decentralization can happen. The integration of the operational technology with information technology gives an opportunity not only to the people who run the distribution system or the network, but also to the users on getting information on real-time basis. And that way, it gives an opportunity to the consumer to control and manage their load requirement, as well as the supply of electricity that can be produced and used. And I think the three foundations of the disruptions which is there will pave the way for large-scale changes which will happen in the way electricity has been produced and consumed for the last 100 years. There is an opportunity now that we see that places which were not earlier being provided electricity, there is an opportunity to produce locally, and especially in areas which are not fully electrified. This is more true when we look at developing countries, when we look even at India and some of the neighboring countries in South Asia, some of the countries in sub-Saharan Africa, where people do not have access of electricity. There are still 1.2 billion people globally who do not have access of electricity. And there's another 0.6 billion who have partial access of electricity. How do we ensure that we reach this energy to them? How do we make it an affordable energy for them? How do we make it a clean and green energy for them? How do we ensure that there is abundant quantity of energy available which they can use when they want and not when the utilities want? How do they come out of the clutches of the monopolistic utilities and thereby give them the freedom and the option to produce electricity in the way that they feel is required by them, and also in a way which makes them more affordable for the consumers in these areas. These are some of the challenges which are there before all of us, and as technical people, as practicing managers, as researchers, that how do we find solutions which are uniformly used not only in India but can be used anywhere else in the world, any developing country who do not have access to it. And I can share with you that when we get into the details of it, you will find that there is a technology involved and there is a business involved. The technology is not the plain vanilla sort of storage technology or the solar PV technology or the biomass or bio-CNG or DG set technology. But how do we make it more efficient? How do we have the analytics part of it where you can control the usage and the supply of electricity? How do you ensure that this becomes something which people, the poorest of the poor, also can use it and thereby improve the economic quality of their life? In our work in India, in one of the projects that we are doing along with the Rockefeller Foundation and some of the institutional partners, we do find that these challenges are not about just creating the electricity infrastructure, but also creating the ecosystem for economic activity. How do we support the people over there to carry out certain industrial and commercial activity? Simple things, whether it is running of their pump sets or it is running of the flour mill or the oil expeller. How do we ensure that they get enough electricity at an affordable cost and they can create economic activity whereby it not only brings the well-being for themselves, but also the village economy undergoes a huge transformation. We saw last year, especially during the COVID period, there were a lot of people who or typically the migrant laborers in the cities who went back to the village. How do we create opportunities for them in the villages so that they are able to get a good quality life even in villages and not have to come to the city and become migrant labor? So there is a lot of opportunity, there is a lot of disruption, but that requires huge amount of work. This is the work that cannot be carried out by a single agency. It is a work that requires multi-agencies with a very clear focus that they need to bring with the solutions which are not only affordable but are also scalable. Because if we have to really make a difference into the lives of people, if we have to really bring about the transformation and the transition in the power sector, then I think this is the time that we can do it. There is a lot of technology which is available, but it requires an application in different environments, in different geographies, and it has to be customized to the extent of those requirements. And when we have seen, especially in the work that we carry out with Ryerson University, we actually find that there can be huge amount of synergy and innovation when we collaborate and work together as one single team. There have been challenges that we have been working with Ryerson University faculty and students as to how we can, under a smart grid solution, meet the requirement of the network under different loading conditions. With large penetration of electric vehicles, with large penetration of rooftop solar, the network becomes very, very infirm. The network becomes susceptible to huge amount of disruptions. How do we create a network which not only will ensure that the losses do not increase in the system or in the network, but also is able to, on real-time basis, transfer load from one feeder to another feeder, thereby not unnecessarily incurring capital expenditure, or to that extent blocking capital expenditure or defraying capital expenditure. So there are a lot of things that can be done together, and I think the disruption will bring the best amongst all of us to find out new solutions and new ways in which we can produce energy and supply to the people. I think Tata Power, which was set up more than 105 years, the founder of this company way back in 1900 had said that the Tata Power is set up with the purpose to produce clean, green, affordable, and large quantity of energy for meeting the requirements of the country. The values continue to be the same even now in 2021, and I'm sure going forward we will collaborate and continue to work in areas like this. On behalf of Tata Power, I would like to once again thank Center for Urban Engineering for the opportunity given to me to come and address in this event. My heartiest compliments to the center on the 10th anniversary, and I do look forward that the next decade will be of great innovation and technology between the industry partners and the institution. And not only it will create new solutions for Canada, for developed countries, but also for developing countries like India and many of the other Southeast Asian countries and countries in the South and in Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm sure that with the support and collaboration that we get from Ryerson University, it will be an opportunity for us to learn and do things which will bring happiness and smile to the faces of people who have been deprived of all these things. My once again best wishes to the center and to all of you. Take care and stay safe. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and God bless all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sinha, for being here with us today and for your excellent presentation and sharing your thoughts with us. As you mentioned, electricity has the power to change people's lives around the world. Thank you also for Tata Power's support for the work that CUE does. And with that, I'd like to bring this opening session to an end. Now there will be a break before our research showcase begins at 10:05. There are two parallel streams where you can learn more about CUE's work with its partners, including Toronto Hydro, Hydro One, Opus One, and Toronto Community Housing. Thank you to everyone for being part of CUE's 2021 Clean Energy Expo, and we hope to see you all again next year, hopefully in person. Goodbye for now.